Miss Juliette B. Enslow, a widow turned wife of wealthy Huntington businessman, found murdered in her own bedroom. Missing valuables. Blood-spattered clothes. A trial without conviction. And over 70 years, yet one question remains. Who killed Juliette B. Enslow? Juliette B. Enslow, a wealthy socialite, lived a life of privilege and social prominence. She was the daughter of Peter Clem Buffington, the first mayor of Huntington, and her great-grandfather was one of the first white settlers and the first millionaire of Huntington, cementing her family's role as a founding family. The Enslows were deeply ingrained in Huntington's socio-economic sphere with notable business ventures, including founding Triple State Gas Company and Columbia Gas and Electric Company. Juliette Enslow's status as Huntington royalty earned her a beautiful house, complete with 26 rooms, marble fireplace, Tiffany chandeliers, and a rotating car spot in the garage, which sat proudly on the city's 3rd Avenue. But her days as queen would soon come to a swift end. On the morning of Saturday, October 17th, 1936, Miss Enslow was found slain in her bedroom by none other than her son, Charles Baldwin. Huntington's finest determined that Juliette had been awakened from her slumber the previous night, after which a struggle ensued. Miss Enslow was then strangled with a towel and bludgeoned to death with an ice pick. With her dying breath, Juliette rang the service bell. But despite the house full of waitstaff, no one came to her aid. One witness claims they heard a faint scream, then car headlights erected at the Enslow house. Shortly after, the car sped up the street, a speedy getaway. As the police continued their examination of the scene, they discovered that Juliette's wallet was also missing. However, in spite of the telltale signs of robbery, no unidentifiable fingerprints were found, and there was no sign of forced entry, indicating a shocking discovery. Juliette's murder may have been an inside job. The police later found Juliette's wallet, dry and unscathed in the driveway, despite it having rained all evening, as well as a blood-soaked handkerchief and bloodied clothes on Charles's floor. Could it be that Charles murdered his own mother? Charles was arrested 4 days later. The prosecution painted Charles as unstable and unpredictable, per his narcotic addiction, pointing to Juliette being responsible for administering his daily dosage as a potential source of his aggravation. The defense admitted to Charles's drug problem, but claimed he had recently traveled to Canada and brought back several hundred grains of the drug, meaning he no longer needed Juliette's supply. Absolving Mr. Baldwin of a clear motivation, Charles is found
not guilty.
The case would only become murkier as time unraveled. On Tuesday, February 27th, 1940, nearly 4 years after Juliette's death, one of her diamond rings was discovered in a catch basin behind the mansion. Many locals were skeptical, however, that such a large ring could have remained there for almost 4 years, especially surviving the 1937 flood. Despite this new evidence, the case was never reopened. However, the case's closed status couldn't keep the townsfolk from speculating. Many turned their suspicion towards Lizzy, Juliette's housekeeper and companion. Many believe Lizzy should have heard the struggle ensuing that fateful night, and should have especially heard the service bell ringing. Others believe it was burglary gone wrong, or a targeted attack against the powerful Enslow family. While others still believe it was Charles driven to violence by a raging addiction. We may never really know what happened to Juliette B. Enslow. As for the Enslow house, a fire ravaged the sorry site in the early morning hours of August 23rd, 1977. The site sat unused before a new tenant, the Car Star, across from the Fazoli's Fast Italian restaurant. Though we crave more than pasta and breadsticks, we crave the truth.